So guys, the other day I did a review for Season 2, talking about my overall likes and dislikes with the season, so I'd recommend checking that out if you haven't done so already. But today I'm going to be talking about my biggest hopes for Season 3, because that is just a few days away now. But before I do get into all of that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on, so that you don't miss out on any more Star Wars Hunters news. Like I said, Season 3 is just a few days away now, which means that I'll have tons of content to come at the beginning of the season and beyond. So one of my biggest issues with Season 2 was the overall balancing for the Hunters, because towards the end of ranked play, all you'd come up against were incredible teams using 3 tank hunters and 1 support, with that support pretty much always being scorer, which meant it was very hard to hit because she was just so quick, and the 3 tanks being most of the time Char, Sentinel and Slingshot. So pretty much every single game was the exact same, and just getting any kill was incredibly challenging, especially for someone as casual as a player as me. And I feel like it's just one of those situations where if you can't beat them, join them. So oftentimes you'd find your own team doing the exact same thing, and it would just mean that every game pretty much plays the same, and it was just very boring in that situation. So I really hope that Season 3 has a good rebalancing of the Hunters, which means that that is no longer the meta, because it is honestly just so frustrating, but unfortunately only time will tell. Now, my other biggest complaint about Season 2 was the fact that 90% of the events didn't have any cosmetic reward to grind for at the end. Everything was pulled into the event shop, which is not a bad idea at all. But for me personally, it meant that I had pretty much no drive to complete the events, which meant that I was ultimately playing a little bit less of the game, or in Season 2's case, actually quite a bit less because of Star Wars Outlaws mostly. But regardless, I feel like if there were more events with more cosmetic rewards, I would have grinded a lot more for them. There was the Clash event that had cosmetic rewards and a growing empire, which had 3 parts to it, and I grinded all of those out to get those rewards. So I feel like if we did have more of those things back, I would absolutely be playing the game even more, which was naturally only a good thing for the game. So I'm really hoping that we get to see more of that again in Season 3, but I feel like it probably is a little bit too late for that. But I just hope this piece of feedback is something that is taken into consideration. Now, my next big hope for Season 3 is pretty simple, to be honest, and it's just for Pillbush, the new Ewok hunter coming to the game, and the new Hoth map to honestly just be fun. I feel like the team at Zynga have done a great job with the maps and the hunters over the last year or two, and especially in these first 2 seasons of global launch, they've been great. Vespara Row is very different to any of the other maps, and whilst it isn't my favourite map in the game, it is a lot of fun to play. Arantul, especially with the rebalancing he had going into Season 2, is a lot of fun to play and very viable. And then Season 2 with Vader's Castle is one of my favourite maps in the game, and Chaos is a huge amount of fun to play as well. So I just hope that Season 3 is as good in that regard of Pillbush and Hoth just being fun. Finally, I just want the marketing and the communications to get better for this game. We've had a little glimpse of that at the Discord server last week, indicating that this could very well be the case, especially in terms of communication via Discord. So that is definitely a positive sign to see, but I don't want to get my hopes too high, because I really feel like with better communication on social media and more marketing of their new seasons and content throughout it, the game could really start to thrive even more. So I'm really hoping to see that happen. I feel like we are in a pretty good scenario now looking into what we've had so far for Season 3. The first look at Pillbush came out about 3 weeks ago now, so it was pretty much a whole month before Season 3 actually released that we got a look at Pillbush, which is insane. I do think that was pretty much for Nintendo Direct though, so I don't think we'll see that going forward, especially not that early. But in the 2 weeks or so leading into the next season, I feel like pushing things out more regarding what's to come next is definitely something we need to see on a marketing side, and then also just better communications through other socials like Discord, like X, Reddit and more. Because I feel like if they can do those things really well and content for the game continues to be as good as it has been, there really is just so much potential for this game going forward. So fingers crossed that is the case for next season. If it's not, then I honestly don't know how much it can continue. I would very much put fear into me, but we will just have to wait and see. I'm cautiously optimistic for it, and I am very excited for this next season. But that is it from me today, guys. Let me know what your hopes are for Season 3 in the comments below. That is it from me today. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.